Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. T minus 5 minutes. Alright, bring this. No way. Testing 1 2 1 2. Geezy Truth News. We got a good connection. Nice. Geezy Truth News. Thank you very much. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody, and welcome to Geezy Truth News. It is August 22nd, 2018. Now, wow, let me tell you, everybody, it's been a long time. It's been some time, and a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have changed. And so we got lots to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. And so it's time to get serious. And there's a lot of things that have happened. Callers call in. Hold on. It looks like my technical engineers are telling me there may be some technical difficulties on tonight's show, but hopefully not. And it looks like the phone lines are open. Thank you, Tom, and everybody who's working on the recordings and audios and all that stuff over there, back there. Thank you. All right. Well then, I don't even know where to begin. Callers call in. We're gonna have to just start from everywhere. It's been a couple months, couple of updates. First of all, we are switching the show now to Wednesdays, like it was previously, and so we're gonna start doing the Wednesday shows now. And Geezy Truth News is back up and running. Things are doing great. We've been collecting a lot of news. We've got a lot of reports. We got a lot of interesting updates, and so we got a lot to work on, so I don't know where to even begin, but here we go. So, this is what's going to happen. So, there's first of all, let's talk about the suppression. There's a lot of suppression going on right now. They're trying to suppress all the airwaves. They're trying to get rid of all the stuff. As people, if you may or may not know, one of the big deals right now, got rid of Alex Jones. They banned him from every Twitter, from every Facebook, from every YouTube. They got rid of them all. And so it's time to take action, ladies and gentlemen. What you have to do here is you have to make your own show. You have to make your own things. You got to start doing your own things. Start being a politician. Start being a patriot. Start being your own research, R&D, investigator, journalist, reporter, all of that. This is what's happening right now in today's America. So, just recently we went on our 17th year anniversary of the war in Afghanistan. And that's going on for a while, so we'll see what's going on here. Who's got any ideas? What's up? I mean, most people are saying pull out. A lot of people don't want to end up, leaving like back in the day, like Vietnam. But, hey, you have to do what you have to do. You want to show strength. Be tactile about it. I mean, hey, speaking of which, and we're going to be posting up all these links. Let me find this one. There is a law. There's a lot of laws going on right now. There's a lot of news things. A lot of articles. Let me see which one. Do we have the one? Let's go. This isn't it. There's so many things to talk about that this is ridiculous. There's so many things here. Bottom line is when I find it, it says that they found in their own reports, they have found that the price of opium has increased. And we already know that it increased in Afghanistan. Who knows how much fold, but we know that. But in our own DOJ reports, it said that, here we go. Government's own report shows tax dollars spent in Afghanistan have boosted opium production. There you go. So let's add this guy. Let's get the audio engineers and technical engineers to post them up on there. And let's see if that's going on. Because I got to tell you, everybody, a lot of interesting things. All right, here we go. All right. So there you go. That's the link is up there. There you go. It just recently happened. 17-year war in Afghanistan. That is how it goes. We got the biggest thing that we're always going to talk about, because until it gets solved, this is the biggest thing right now, is the pedogate. That is the most important, the most terrible and horrific thing you could think of, but that is what is going on. So the pedogate. And if you're interested, we can find you the article for that one as well. Recently, they just busted, and you know, they're busting these pedophile rings all over the place, right? They're busting these pedophile rings in every country, UK, Norway, you know, even China, I'm sure. But you can think of all these things, and the most recent one, of course, is again the Catholic Church, and they busted hundreds and hundreds of priests doing all these, meddling with all these little kids, raping them, who knows what, all this terrible stuff. And again, what's most likely is going to happen is they're probably going to get pardoned through the Vatican Church. So again, this is the most recent thing. Look into that. And it's pretty crazy. The pedogate is the number one thing. And that's, people need to understand what's going on. People need to understand that this is probably the biggest thing that's going on in this whole world. It's who cares about money? Yeah, it's easy for them to collect money. All these bankster gangsters, whatever you want to call them, cabal, Khazar, blah blah blah, all these guys, yeah, okay, if they're trying to get some money, they're trying to F people over for money, I mean, hey, that's the name of the game. If that's what they want to do, these money sick people who are going around grubbing money, that's one thing. But then the next step, the next level, whether it's blackmail or not, they have this pedogate fiasco going on, and it's quite the kerfuffle. So that's the biggest thing. Another recent thing, so that is just an ongoing investigative research report, and you got to just keep on updating. People need to call in, whoever. I know there's a lot of important researchers out there who are doing their due diligence, so go ahead and call that back. And so the next thing, we're going to jump all over the place here. Recently, Michael Cohen got convicted. That's a big thing here. So a lot of people think, wow, Michael Cohen got convicted. What's next? They're trying to get Manafort, right? Or whatever his name is. They're trying to get Manafort. They're trying to get a lot of people. Donnie Boy. We're going to have a lot to talk about Donnie Boy. He's still kicking ass. He's doing his thing. We'll see. We have another article coming up saying that, hey, they keep talking about impeachment, but then when the investigative reports come up, let me pull this up. Tom, will you pull this up? Where is that? Hold on, this is the wrong one. What's going on here? This is, we're looking for the report that says that through the impeachment, that it's nowhere close to impeachment, is what they're saying. So, let's find this guy really quick. And wow, there's a lot of interesting things going on. So callers, call in. And so, yeah, that's the whole thing, is like all these people who are angry about Donnie Boy. Well, the fact of the matter is, I mean, it's not even close. Anyway, when we find it, we'll find it. But it's there. I'm sure if you could just look it up. Here's another one. Here's an article that says a research that was done by whoever. I don't think it even mentions who did the research. It says, study U.S. political climate frightening for teens. So here we go, and I'll post this up as well. It says, Donald Trump's America might be harming the mental health of teens, especially minorities, a new study suggests. Fear of discrimination, blah, blah, blah. More common among Los Angeles area teenagers between the 2016 election and the months following Trump's presidential inauguration in 2017. And speaking of which, I have in addition to that, because it mentioned Los Angeles. California just recently did a huge error in its political legislation, and I'll post that up as well. And so here's this. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. It says at the end it says the study did not prove a cause and effect relationship. So there you go. I mean, this is. But see, I'm just trying to point out that here's all these articles that are saying, well, there's people saying that there's huge problems. Yes, there's huge problems. It's just which problems are you talking about? If you're talking about teenagers who are afraid to cry or whatever that is, I just posted it, or Tom just did anyway. Thank you for the technical engineers and audio engineers and everybody. Is that that a lot of it is obviously fake news. There's a lot of that going on. And so let's see, here it is. Here we go. This is the one I was talking about. California just passed a law enabling illegal aliens to never spend a day in jail ever again. Now that doesn't sound good. Not to me. If anybody who's willing to say, hey, that's a great thing. And I'm not talking about jail sentencing. I'm just talking about, hey, you got to put them somewhere for the time being while you deport them. Well, I mean, whatever the situation is, if you're here illegally, I mean, where's there a place to argue? Again, let's hear it. This is the thing, and most people would agree, but at the same time, it's a lot of interesting speculations here. So, let's just go down the list. Okay, so here's a new thing. And it's not a new thing. I'm sure we've talked about it on this show previously. And also, if you haven't heard about this, then you're out of the loop, because it's been going on. They've been talking about this for years. I'm sure they mentioned it in the 70s, even prior. But anyway, here we go. Cancer link confirmed in largest ever cell tower radiation study. So there you go. Those naysayers that said, cell phones don't cause radiation or whatever the deal is. Well, here you go. National Toxicology Program, cell phone radiation cancer study, presentation. Wow. So there you go. I mean, I figured that was already the case. But anybody who likes facts, who loves facts, here you go. And by the way, we're doing this not only on YouTube, we're doing this on everywhere, on every platform, because they banned Alex Jones. It doesn't even matter what he does. It infringes on free speech, and that's unacceptable. And so everybody, I recommend. So Alex Jones, I'm assuming, has his videos uploaded somewhere else. That would be the smart thing to do. The way to do it is you want to put it on everywhere. You want to infiltrate. You want to have it on. There's a good video that the natural health news guy, forgot his name, Mike Adams or something like that, I believe his name is, and he opened up the want.video. There's a new video platform. You could start uploading your videos on there, and we're in the process of that. We're in the process of uploading all our videos all over the place, and that's the way to do it. So that's you want to infiltrate the YouTube airwaves and all these guys, because a lot of these corporations are obviously bad mojo. But you want to fight at all fronts, because what would happen if they start taking your favorite YouTube away or whatever? Like, everybody should transition from YouTube, but you can also take over YouTube. Let the corporation not infringe on all those. And then, so one of the common arguments about it is, well, it's a private corporation, so it has every right to do everything. It can discriminate. But at a certain point, at the same time, when there's enough people, I believe that it turns into like cell phones, or like telephones, when there was like a, if you weren't allowed to use a telephone or something like that. But now everybody has telephones. Everybody has cell phones. You could use it. And it's just like that. The YouTube, if everybody wants to use YouTube, Well, you have every right to. Whether it's bad or not is a different story. Whether that's, legality involved. It has to be legal. But free speech is free speech. Within reason, of course. And Alex Jones, he can spew anything he wants. Nobody has to wash him. So, there's that. Let's take a look at this. So again, this is exactly what I was talking about. Here's an article that backs it up. MSM and pseudoscientists are uniting in a desperate attempt to shut down free speech and castrate the internet. So there you go. They're already trying. They've been trying. So let everybody to get on the bippity bop and let everybody start rolling. You know what I mean? Everybody start doing your fair share. I don't hear a whole lot of things going on here. So callers call in, talk a lot of things, explain what's going on and what's happening. There you go. Oh, here we go. We got a caller. Hello and welcome to Geezy Truth News. What's going on? What's your name, caller?
Dude, I wanted to talk about Donald Trump for a second.
Alright, well, what's going on? What would you like to talk about?
I want to talk about how much of an idiot he is, and I want to talk about how he keeps thinking that everybody's going to build a wall for him, but Mexico denied him, and even our own country is also denying him as well.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the thing about the wall is it was a statement. It wasn't really so much of a, we're going to make this wall and everything's going to magically fix itself. It was, we're going to build this wall to prove that, whatever that proof was, is whether we're not weak or whether he can get a job done or whatever the situation was. He platformed, that was one of the things he platformed on.
Yeah.
So yeah, last I heard that the wall is coming up. That's getting built. What was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I've heard was that he wanted, that he was trying to build the wall and he was getting angry because everybody else wasn't building it for him.
Yeah, well, that's correct. The Mexican president did say he wasn't going to pay for it. So, and whether there's a deal going on behind the scenes or not is unknown.
Right.
But yeah, the Mexican president definitely said no. Well, from the last things, I haven't really been paying too much attention about the wall specifically. But last time I heard that, before they were having the prototypes of the wall, they were building the wall, they got people over there, and so so I think they're building it, but remember when he signed that tax bill not to, that super bus or whatever it was called, the tax bill that he signed to get all the things up in order. One of the things was to get funding for the wall, but he didn't really get that much funding. It was mostly for military and government spending and stuff like that.
Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is we have all these great people and all these other stupid, dumb people that are being let out of prison, and they're telling them that they need to go in and be on a tracking device and they gotta turn themselves in to doing all this other crap. But honestly though, what is that to stop it from happening again?
Yeah, I'm not too exactly sure on what you're talking about. I know the prison industrial complex, we have a problem with our prisons, obviously. We have a bunch of people in prisons. Most of them are drug related, so like not violent crimes. So that's the biggest. That's one of the biggest wastes is the war on drugs. So if that's what you're talking about, are you talking about something specific, or are you talking about that?
bunch of people, you know, that are just, you know, not really. Hold on, I got an ambulance. Hold on.
All right, well, be careful out there.
So, basically, I'm saying though that we have like all these trade-ins, like from the mafias and everybody else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know they're buying females, and they're making sex slaves, you know.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
We have all these rape people that are rape artists that just sit there, you know, get away with stuff at the same time too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about, look, we were just talking. I mean, that's the pedogate thing. That's the sex trafficking thing. That's all of that is mixed. It's all pretty much the same because most of those sex trafficking is underage. So that's a huge deal. And actually, did you know, and I'm glad you're bringing this up because the biggest deal that happened that Trump did, that Donnie Boy did, was he signed this important executive order, this document, on December 21st. It's called anybody can look it up as December 21st executive order, you know, or December 21st document, the executive order. And if you read what it says, it's Donnie Boy talking about the sex trafficking and the pedophiles and the underage, you know, all that bad stuff, you know, all that, the abusing children and all that terrible stuff. And he mentions it very clearly, but very intelligently and cohesively. He mentions it in this document and says that we're going to take care of it. And that's going to be the priority, or one of the main priorities. So, and that was December 21st, 2017. And so we'll see how, I mean, it sounds like everything, a lot of things are behind the scenes. And so there's a lot of things that we don't know. There's a lot of distractions. He'll say a lot of things to get people to look over there. And then meanwhile, he's busting pedophiles or who knows what, you know. And so that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping he's not one of them, right? That's the whole thing. And so far, it's looking decent. He's still looking like our guy, but you can't of course you can't give 100% trust because, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You got to pull a chain to get a chain if you want to get up the ladder in that regard. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, did you have anything else to talk about, or what did you think?
Well, I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, you know, Trump, I think he has some changes that he's trying to make, you know, but at the same time, personally, myself, I don't like him.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's just my personal. Not saying that, you know, he I don't know, I prefer Obama, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the thing is that Obama didn't do much. What did Obama do?
That is true. I mean,
they're all bad guys in my book. None of them, I don't care, Republican, Democrat. Hell, you could be part of the Greenpeace Party for all I care. None of these guys look good. You know what I mean? All these guys look corrupt.
True.
And I'm not calling Donnie Boy a saint or nothing, none of that. Because we all know who Donnie Boy is. Donnie Boy is Donnie Boy. We've known him for a while.
Right.
He's been out there. When Obama popped out, nobody knew who Obama was. And so we were like, okay, let's give this guy a shot. But he kept promising hope and change and hope and constant effect and, you know, variable equations and all this. But 8 years went by and what changed? He took a bunch of bailout. He bailed out a bunch of banksters. He bailed out a bunch of corporations. He got a bunch of funding from the Koch brothers, which is an evil investment company from any research that I've done or anybody's done. And they're the same. It's like it's all part of the same clique, you know. Whatever you, it's just all. The thing that we voted for Donny Boy for change, and or for to tear things apart, to move things around, and so far it seems like he's doing some of that. It's pretty hilarious how he's had a few of his guys get convicted. Did you hear his lawyer got convicted? He's a felon now. Michael Cohen, his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, got convicted of felony charges. And yeah, of tax fraud, money fraud, all kinds of things. You could look it up. So, and they're trying to get his other guy, Paul Manafort. And you know they're just trying to. And the thing is I mentioned it earlier on the show, but if you didn't hear. Like I wanted to repeat that the thing is that both sides of the token are very far-fetched or not very intelligible, because you look at the other side where everybody is trying to impeach him, but none of that is being successful either. So what's going on? It's either A or either B. What are you going to take?
Right. I mean, the whole entire situation to me is confusing as well. You know.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But here's on the other side of things, on a positive note, on a lighter note, I do want to say very interesting things that have been happening with. I still want to mention, you know, the ETs, the Disclosure Project, Dr. Stephen Greer. You know, he's all still going on and on. He's still doing his research. He's still doing his things. And that may be like the hope for humanity. Who knows? But I am down for that. I'm up for that. That sounds great. I mean, hey, you have to put in your due diligence here. Be an American patriot. Do your research. Do your homework. Be who you should be.
And all you can.
And also be informative from every facet. You should be knowing about everything, like Disclosure Project of the Dr. Stephen Greer. The very interesting things that are going on over there, because apparently, you know, they found an alien, you know, this was a few years back. They found like extraterrestrial, and they were doing research on it. And Dr. Stephen Greer was a former doctor, so he knew about all these quirks about the human anatomy and vice versa. About, you know, because I don't remember. It's like you have to have like it was like six parts of the brain, but there's only 4 parts of the brain on this ET and things like that. It's very interesting. And apparently there's a guy, I may be confusing the guys, there's a guy named Gary Nolan who is a PhD, who is part of some kind of, I don't know, top secret or not. Obviously not very secret now, but he came out and said that at first he pretty much did a total 180-degree turn. He first said that, yes, this is an ET, very interesting, and then out of the blue, all of a sudden, he went, nope, that's just a deformed fetus or something like that, and then it completely went 180, and so Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about that and making a big deal out of that. So I've been aware up to that point. I haven't looked into it after that, but very interesting what's been going on in that department. On the other very interesting aspect of things is, what's that guy named? David Wilcock. He's a very interesting fellow to look into, and he has been, I mean, he was like Edgar Casey kind of fellow who's looking into all these very interesting, and you can't deny it. There's a lot of facts that he just says right off the bat, and if you go and take a look, and it's there. And so anyway, yeah, I just wanted to let you know about all that. Did you know about any of that?
Only some of it. Not very much, though. Actually, it was very informative.
Good. Well, that's the point. That's the point, man. I want everybody to do their own show. I want everybody to research. I want people to start cracking, man. Because if we don't like the way things are going, then why aren't we doing anything about it?
Exactly.
So, here I am doing my 2 cents. You're doing your 2 cents. Everybody's doing their 2 cents, and that's how it should be.
Another thing I want to say real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Was there's a whole bunch of laws that nobody really knows about.
Oh, of course. Oh, there's so many laws. Laws get enacted every day.
Well, okay, if you think about it, okay, for example, driving. A lot of people don't know what the actual definition of driving is. Everybody thinks it's, I'm driving a car. That's not what it really is. Driving is making money off the road. Driving is being a taxi driver or a paramedic or a cop. It's, now, say otherwise, if a person didn't have their license and was behind the wheel, that would be traveling if they're not making money by operating the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? Because, it even says it underneath Black's Law. If you look up Black's Law's books, it tells you everything about it. There's numerous people who, if you look up on YouTube, will get away in court and stuff because the judge, they will walk out, which leaves a free case.
Right.
So therefore, if the judge just walks out, doesn't slam the gavel, that means that it's an open case, and that means that person can walk out. You know, it's just
yeah. I hear you on that.
Laws like that nobody understands.
Yeah, which is why everybody should be researching this, man. Everybody should be looking into all this. That's very good information. If you can send me the links or any info you can send, it would be great. I'd update it on the Geezy Truth News network. And yeah, man, because exactly, loopholes, remember what Donnie Boy says, loopholes.
Exactly.
And look where he got. So, you know, what's that saying? Hey, you can hate the player, but you can't hate the game or something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, very correct.
It's not about the cards that you're dealt, it's how you play them.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
You have a great day, and thank you for the call.
You too.
Take care.
You too.
Bye. All right. All right. Well, thank you very much. That was great. And callers, the phone lines are open. Tom and Mike are in the boardroom, going around with the dials and figuring out how to do all that technology that I don't understand at all. I wouldn't. It's very, very impressive. So thank you very much, everybody. And let's see what else. So we'll just finish off the thing here. So one of the things I also forgot to mention, and we'll just go along and finish it up. So, economy, we could get to economy later. Economy is interesting. So here's the new, whatever you want to call, I got no words for it. I mean, if you want to call it liberal, left, it's more like an Orwellian 1984 is what most people are calling it. And so what this is happening is medical professionals, is an article, I'll send it over. Medical professionals Twitter angry over safe sex guide calling vagina front hole. So now they're apparently getting rid of, they're trying to, I don't see how that would be possible, but it looks like they're trying to get rid of words, the soft speak or whatever the term they used in 1984, was that now instead of vagina, now they're trying to change it to front hole. Believe it or not, I don't think that'll ever happen, but this is just one more case, one more notch added to the craziness of the globalists or whatever you want to call them. It's here they are. And there it is. So that's there's enough said about that. I mean, it's the 1984, reduce vocabulary, reduce intelligence, reduce freedom, it's all in the book. It's all in the book. So there you go. So what's next? Oh, here was the impeachment article that I was talking about. The impeachment not even close. We're a long way from tolling the bells for this administration. This is coming from Bob Unruh, from apparently the White House himself. Dershowitz was interviewed by Tucker Carlson. And so there you go. So here you go. If Bob can add the articles up, there you go. So, as you can see, ladies and gents, there's a lot of things going on. You got both sides. You got to do what you can do. And I was thinking about getting into history, but I don't know if we have time for that. It looks like our clock is ticking out here. So I wanted to get into history here, but I think we're just going to stick with current events. We still got to go over the economy and everything. So we're just going to go ahead and skip all this. Anybody who's interested after the fact can, message us or however it works. And we'll more than welcome to send you all that and talk about it. So let's see. Here's a new article. It says DOJ is asking the courts to make Facebook compromise its encryption, which could put us all in danger. So, I mean, right off the bat, in my opinion, I could care less about Facebook. I could care less about its encryption, its safe codes, its passwords, code words. None of that matters, because you need to understand that Facebook in itself is either or all is it's corrupt. They sell your data. It is potentially a psyop. There's been a lot of from Veterans News Today, and from Veterans Today, there's been a lot of articles from veterans themselves attesting and doing the research on that and seeing whether this is a psyop or not. And most of them concluded yes, it is. And these are PhD, Navy, Marines, Air Force. I mean, all these guys are very prestigious in their own reconnaissance, and then they have all this to do that. So here we go. If this is interesting, to me, I'm not very. You should use Facebook as an infiltration tool, just like I was saying with YouTube and Twitter and everything else. Other than that, I mean, you shouldn't be mentioning anything private on there in the first place, because you should know what it is already. It's no question that before Facebook, there was what was that one called? MySpace. And then all of a sudden, MySpace disappeared and Facebook came about. What is that? Did anybody have any idea why? I mean, it was practically the exact same thing, and people all use Facebook, and it's kind of weird. I'm not a fan. I'm not interested. Use it as an infiltration tool, or at the very least, just don't trust it. Just be careful. Don't leave anything. Remember the hacker's ideology or the hacker's philosophy, that anything can be hacked. And speaking of which, we should go over crypto during the economy segment. And so anyway, that is the thing, is that you should know what you're doing and you should be knowledgeable about all this. I'd be very surprised if nobody knew about the shenanigans that is happening with all these corporations and all these social media platforms. So be aware, there's better things. There's the news health ranger guy created a new YouTube, practically, the want.video, I believe is what it's called. I'll put a link on it afterwards. Lots of good things are going. So that's something to look into. Now, what's the next? And then just more interesting tidbits. The state of democracy. 11-year-old hacks a state election replica website in just 10 minutes. And now this is very easy to decipher because, first of all, we've been talking about this for a long time. We talked about it, the hacking election. I mean, speaking of which, you know, everybody's saying, oh, Donny Boy stole the election, or Hillary was going to steal the election. Someone was going to steal something, and all this was going to happen. So what do? Remember the solution, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't no Tom and Jerry show. The answer is, the equation is very easy, and I'm sure someone has already thought of it, and people are working on it due diligently, is that all you have to do is have it under, and this can work with anything, not just with elections, not just with voter ballots, but all you have to do with the voter ballots is put it under the blockchain. That's all you have to do. Put it under the blockchain, put it under Ethereum, and put it as a open interface, open source, P2P, available archive. And there you go. You have this ledger, and it's private yet open. It's not private. It's secure but open. And that is the perfect thing for many things. And one of the most important things would be the voter ballot problem. And so very easily, that's all that is. I'll post that up, and that's what that is going. And if nobody's done that yet, that is the way to do it. And if not, I'm going to do it, because someone's got to do it, and it's not that hard. And it makes sense. It just makes sense. When you have all these problems, when you have all this corruption, what are you supposed to do? So there you go. This is very interesting. And yeah, this talks about, I believe, the Afghanistan war, and like I was saying, that's, you know, what do you do with a situation like that? I mean, it's like it's Vietnam all over again. What do you do? Well, you have a few options, not too much. You can pull out, you can stay, or you can figure out some kind of new way of dealing with it, obviously, because they've been doing the same thing for 17 years, and it's obviously not working. So either pull out, which is most likely is probably going to happen, but knowing Donny Boy, he's not going to want to just leave with his tail behind his legs like that. So go figure, whoever has an intelligent answer to that. See, I have a perfect, concise answer for the voter ballots, but with the Afghanistan war, with wars in general, I mean, there's so many facets at play. There's so many things going on that it is just impossible unless you really know what you're talking about. And that I can't say that I do in that regard. So the options are there. What are we going to do as an American people? That's what we have to figure out. We have to have the choice of that, because there's people who would say that it's not... I would reckon that most people would say that it's just not worth it to be there anymore. So, especially with that new DOJ report that I just that Bob and Tom just put on the website. So take a look at that. So, all right. Well, I guess we're ready to head on over to... Oh, before the economy, let's get over to QAnon. This is an interesting one. And I don't know how many people wake up, but there's a lot of interesting things here. QAnon has been a guy, we've talked about him. Many people talk about him. There's a lot of things going on. And we just have to see whether he is legit. He's proven himself to be legitimate for quite some time. You don't hear about him too often. He says a lot of interesting things. Let's see the most recent posts. There's so he didn't post anything today, but yesterday he posted a link saying the Great Awakening, and then the one previous to that on the 20th. And by the way, anybody here, I'll post this up as well for anybody who doesn't have this info already. All you have to do is go to QAnonpost.com, and there you go, and that'll show all his posts. So the one on the 20th, it said, listen close, Sessions hints to trust the plan. So, I mean, if you guys would like, I can post all of this up. Or you can just look it up yourself. Oh, this seems kind of like it's the Twitter thing, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to post it up. But there you go. So drain the swamp, America first, POTUS, okay. I mean, sounds good. Where's the action, you know? I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. But a lot of people don't understand that, well, if you don't do anything and it's not affecting you, it will affect you eventually, and by the time it affects you, it'll be too late. So think about that conundrum for a little bit, and then get to work. Because Lord knows we need a lot of researchers, we need a lot of patriots here, busting their chops. So there you go. There's that. And then let's see what was the most recent one. This is the most recent one right here. Thank you, Bob and Tom, for posting those. And it says, I am passing this on from someone who's connecting some dots with input from source he cannot reveal. Here's what it looks like. Grand jury investigation in the Clinton Foundation, yada yada. We already know all these little tidbits. When is anything going to happen yet, right? So far they convicted Michael Cohen, so there's that. And then, you know, previously Michael Flynn and a couple other guys, I think, but so far that's Trump's team. So who's ever looking on whose team or side, or whether they're all on the same side, or who knows, but this is, we voted him in, so it's time to look into all this. So this is a lot of info. So I'll post this, if it's not up there already. There you go. Thank you, Tom and Bob. Great guys. And all right. So now to the economy. QAnon, great guy, supposedly, allegedly, look into all this. Look into all this stuff. So there you go. Posted all that. Now, very interesting times. There's just, I look up the news on like the Fox News or the CNN, and what they talk about is just absurd. It's like talking about a pizza shop. Of all the things that are happening right now, like you're talking about a pizza shop. There's a time. I mean, it's crazy. It's like talking about a pizza shop when there's so many things going on. Like, how are you crazy? Anyway, let's get to economy. We're gonna wrap it up here. And I thank you everybody for listening, and please call in, and anybody who the phone lines are still on, I believe. And let's see. So this article, if they're talking about the Australian, I don't know how much it matters. David Morgan, I'll post this up. It pretty much says, as we all know, Fed fueled valuation madness, cheap debt and deep tax cuts piped directly to corporations, who then use that money to buy their own expensive shares and huge buybacks, while the same executives who put out press releases crowing about how cheap their stock is sell their personal shares into that same buyback. They're rigged markets, crony capitalism at its worst. David Morgan explains why it's so dangerous and what's the inevitable fallout will bring. Nothing less than the end of the Anglo-American Empire. So very interesting. Look, the Federal Reserve has got to go. We all know that. That's the main thing. Whatever he's talking about, I'm sure he's got a lot of great points. But the main thing is the Federal Reserve. And that is something that we all have to take care of. That was my main priority with Donny Boy, and he hasn't done anything too much, anything at all about it. So that's what I'm waiting for. And when that happens, then I'll be singing a different tune. But for now, that's the number one thing. You gotta get rid of the Fed through a smart way. And we've talked about that before in the show. You don't automatically yank it out, otherwise, obviously the collapse, and they'll blame it all on him, and that may already be happening. So it'd almost be worth it to see, but all he has to do is slowly, he's got to bring back the greenback, decentralize, get rid of the Fed, all at a slow, comprehensive rate, and within 20 years, problem solved. I would say, at the worst, you'd go 30 years, but I think we could be smart enough to do 20 years, if not less. So there's that. I just put that in. Looks like the economy, last time I checked, that was like at 25,600 or 25,000, somewhere around then. Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on here. The Dow is at 25,733, so it went up about 100 points, apparently. But it dropped 88. Very interesting. Oil is at 67. So, again, all inflated, all in. It's all fake news, but I mean, it's something is there. They're obviously playing this game. We're all playing this game. So here it is. And what can I say? I mean, it's at 25,733. It may keep going up. It may keep going down. Nobody knows. I think there's going to be a crash very soon, is my opinion. But a lot of people are, on the same token, on the other side of the token, there's a lot of people who are saying that it's going to keep going up. So we'll see who's right. I'm more on the, I don't think this bubble can last very long, because this is a bubble, contrary to the cryptocurrency market, which we can now review, which Bitcoin is at, let's see, it is at, it's going to be, let's see, the internet is slow right here, 66,441. So there it is. It's at 6.4, and it's gonna. We'll see what happens, but in my opinion, it's gonna keep going up because there's only 21 million. Here's the main facts. There's nothing complicated about this. The dollar is inflated through inflation. It's being pumped through fractional reserve lending through Q1, Q2, Q3. There's gonna be it's been Q4, I think, and there may be a Q5. Who knows? But they keep printing this, and then that's why it's a bubble. Bitcoin, on the other side, is there's only 21 million. It hasn't gone up that. There has not been lending. There has not been a pump. There has not been a... You know what I mean? There's 21 million. That's it. It hasn't... We're still at 17,225,475. So that's where it's only at the 17 millionth mark, and there's 21 million to go, there's only 21 million. As opposed to the stock market, is that, I mean, we have surpassed that circulating supply or the max, market cap, all of that has been surpassed so many times, has been so overinflated that this is what you get. You get the Great Depressions, and you get the 2008, and you got this, and roughly it happens 7-8 years. Some people but it's been 7-8 years now. So it's been actually 10 years almost, practically 10 years. So some would say that it's at an overdue. So there you go. That's the economic report as of now, as of August 22nd, 2018. So there you go, everybody. I think we have to wrap up here. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Bob and Tom will add the rest of the links on. Thank you for tuning. Everybody have a great time and take it easy. Do your due diligence. Do what you gotta do. Thank you, everybody. Geezy Truth News is out.